right? They all died. So the stage apparently was set. The agenda was ready, the plan was made, and it may well have been to inoculate an awful lot of people come this fall with a tainted, deadly bioweapon called H5N1, hidden away in the H3N2 normal human flu vaccine. Nice, huh? Be right back in just a couple. International. Almost 50,000 employees worldwide. They're located in Deerfield, Illinois, and, it's the same womb that produced Barkey and Rahm Emanuel and all the other great guys and gals who've come to Washington, D.C. All right, Alexander, what else about this issue bothers you? Let's say that we caught them. Not we, but let's say fate caught them. Let's say the Czech Republic lab caught them. The dead ferrets caught them. I don't care. So this is their first effort. They blew it. Will they be back?
Oh, this is definitely not their first effort. This is a concerted, high-level effort at multiple levels of government and especially in private industry through not nonprofits, but rather, these think tanks, these foundations.
Got it.
So if Baxter doesn't have it, someone else does. Sure. I can tell you when I was working at NIH, as I was working there between the years of around 2002 to 2005 or so, the facility completely changed character. They put in turnstile gates. Originally you could just walk in from the public transit. Mm-hmm. You could sleep on the lawn during lunch. Mm-hmm. But all that changed, and they put up these turnstiles with access cards. The security was really tightened down. They put up a huge fence around the facility, cameras everywhere, and it looked like they were changing it from public health to more of like a weapons program.
With the Obama administration plan, and before that the Bush administration plan to open up, I don't know how many BSL-3 labs are on the drawing board, Bill? Was it close to 20 or early 20s? I don't know. It was quite a few around the country.
Yeah, BSL-3, there's hundreds and hundreds now. BSL-4, they multiplied them many times, and what's happened is that the object was to open up the ability to make vaccines, including vaccines against potential bioweapons.
Well, that's how they hide it all. They
to
call
any comer. You didn't even have to be a vaccine company before you could be making lollipops, and all of a sudden you had a license from the government to print money. Mm-hmm. And by the way, at the same time they passed April 1st, 2005, by executive order, the baby Bush emperor passed the executive order that you couldn't sue if either an adult or a child died.
I remember.
From a providential vaccine side effect of death or dismemberment or any other horrifying complication.
Well, there was an effort to open it, and I'm thinking 18 to 20 new BSL-4 labs around the country.
Yeah, it's around that. But the thing is that many of these BSL-3 are handling weapons that only BSL-4 would have handled.
Of course.
And they're doing very sloppy jobs.
Exactly. These are graduate students and undergraduate students in many cases.
Yeah, and there's no real security. These are in places like when they had Katrina, they had a chain link lock.
That's right.
On a fence outside of a facility.
I remember
they
that.
had 3 major bioweapons inside with no guards even posted inside the building. Even
one bolt cutter and you're right in and you're right out. That's if you know what you're looking for, a disaffected employee or whatever. By the way, the biotest company in the Czech Republic, 13 workers were exposed to the vaccine. They immediately became, they were given Tamiflu. I don't know if they got sick or not. They were watched. Last I heard, they were still being monitored, but I don't know. Have you heard anything else about their fate?
No.
From what I read in my translations, it's that they're under the or it sounded like they're in quarantine from what I read from the translation.
Are they getting Tamiflu and then quarantined? All right.
Yeah, here's the thing though. The NIH and the CDC know that when an outbreak occurs, you can carry this virus and grow it in your body and multiply and be shedding it by the billions of virus particles per minute.
And be asymptomatic.
For asymptomatic, and because it's neurotropic, it can grow because of its polybasic cleavage site in the H gene, grow in any tissue, including in your brain. And you can be shedding virus 8 days to 10 days before you get sick. Then you can spike a fever. An hour and a half later, without coughing once, you can drop dead and bleed from every orifice.
It's really about the most perfect biokiller that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah,
even talked about. It's a machine of gargantuan appetite. Let's put it that way. Tell us more about the translations, Alexander. What they tell us. And I really appreciate you making them available through Dr.
Oh, no
Deagle.
problem. Okay, so let me just pull them up right quick. The translations basically indicate the chronology of what happened, because there's 3 Czech articles out of a major Czech newspaper. The first is from February 18th, and basically this tells us that there was, quote, contamination at biotest in Konorovis in Czech Republic. And at that time, Baxter claimed that this was an isolated incident, and they also claimed trade secrets. And they would not say where this came from, how this happened.
It's a proprietary vaccine. We can't tell you anything about it, but...
Exactly. They refused to comment on February 18th. So when all the ferrets died, well, actually, they got very sick and they were cold. So technically speaking, they didn't just drop dead. I guess they started probably bleeding and doing very horrible things, and so they were cold. Baxter claimed a business secret, and they wouldn't comment on it. And so that's on February 18th, so that's about a month ago.
Got it.
The next article says that is where we discover that on March 4th, deadly virus of the bird flu suddenly appeared in several places in Europe. And this isn't in public, this is in labs, where it was sent out from AVIR Green Hills, a Baxter subcontractor, sent it to, I believe, it doesn't say the number here, it's either 16 or 18 labs in 3 countries, which would be Slovenia, Germany, and Czech Republic.
Do we know about any other employees who were exposed, who were treated or quarantined, or other animals that died in tests, or is the biotest the only one we really have direct data on?
Yeah, that biotest is the only one we know about. I haven't seen anything else regarding these other labs.
What happened to the other samples then? Were they allegedly returned to Baxter, or were they...
That's what we're worried about. I've read one place that Baxter was on one of these pro-industry sites. Baxter was quoted as saying they're going to help clean up the contamination.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they want to destroy the samples that could prove... And this is the thing, if you destroy the samples... and you don't look at the gene clades or the genetics, you don't know the source. If this was a true weaponized, fully weaponized strain or genetically tampered with further, we don't know what clade it was or whether or not it was further modified to make it more easy to form a recombinant.
You bet they'd want to send their own teams in there to clean up. You're absolutely right. Sure. Go ahead, Alexander.
Well, I think the key now is exactly what you're saying, is to preserve these samples, because if any one person, even a local authority, manages to preserve some of these samples, they can run PCR, which is basically like sequencing it, and then you can do almost a Google search on the virus and find out what it's related to. I suspect we'll see it's weaponized, and that it's not exactly from a bird. It's probably been modified.
This is a monumentally important story, and I want to thank Bill Deagle again for bringing it to my attention and being here tonight, and Alexander S. Jones as well. We're going to pause and be right back. Folks, this appears to be the big one, as they say. It's going to take out 1 billion or more people without any question, had it gone the way it appears it might have gone. All right, we'll be right back.